Good morning, everyone, to Marketing Matters. I'm Sarah Touchstone, Landmark Title Social Media Marketing Strategist. I am joined today by Chris Wesson of Benchmark Mortgage. Now, Chris does all type of loans, but his specialty is VA loans. And those of you that are out there working with VA clients right now, you might think it's a little tough. You might be feeling like, there's not a lot of light at the end of the tunnel because it is one of the more, interesting loans to work with. However, Chris is on today to dispel some of the myths that we have in the real estate industry when it comes to VA loans. So Chris, take it away.
You have to get all the clothes.
All right, thank you. So, yeah, I know Melinda just said something about there's a lot of background noise. So I don't know if people are unmuted, but yeah, so a little bit about me. You can kind of see my first slide here. I was a Marine Corps veteran from 2002 to 2006. I did 3 deployments to Iraq while I was in. So 03, February to October, came home, deployed again in February, and came home in August, deployed again. The following February, came home, and then wound up getting out, got talked into going back overseas as a contractor. So I worked for the DOD on a couple contracts and worked for the State Department, kind of escorting congressional delegations and that kind of stuff around, kind of all around Iraq. And, all told between the ages of, like 19 and 29, I spent probably 7 years in Iraq. So the majority of kind of like my early on life was, in the military, around the military. I got a bachelor's degree in global security, thinking I was going to go back into the contracting world. But, here I am in the mortgage business. And I guess that's kind of how it happens. I don't think anybody as a kid's like, oh, I want to be a lender, I want to be a realtor, work for an escrow company. It just kind of happens. And so it's been great, and I've been loving it. But the longer that I'm in this, the more that I realize that people don't know kind of how the VA home loan works, whether that's other lenders or realtors, and people tend to they shy away from it because they just don't understand it. So it's kind of like when you're a kid and you're scared of what's under the bed until your parent comes in. We're kind of that person to come in and say, hey, look, there's nothing to be scared of. It's an easy loan. It's a great loan. I'll put it right up there with, just as good as conventional, better than FHA. And if you've had issues in the past, then, I'm going to say it was the lender. The lender didn't understand the VA loan. They didn't understand exactly what they were doing. And that's why people have bad experiences. And then obviously we all know, like, this is a very small community, with lenders and realtors, people talk. So, if one realtor says, oh, I had this worst experience with the VA loan, then, they're going to shout that from the rooftops, and then every other realtor is going to hear it. So, it's kind of my job and my whole passion is, when you get that offer as a listing agent for a VA home loan, you don't just stick it to the side and say, oh, not doing that when it's VA. I don't want to, it's kind of like, look at the GI Bill. You wouldn't go tell a veteran, like, no, don't use your GI Bill, just go in student debt like everybody else did and rack up $100,000 in student loan debt. It's kind of the same thing as, for veterans, they've earned this benefit, as using their VA home loan. And, one of the greatest things is, there's no down payment required. So, you look now, it's so cheap to borrow money nowadays with rates, where they're at. You're better off, not putting money down and putting that money in the market or your IRA or 401k and getting, 30% return on investment. So, you just kind of got to change your thinking and the way you look at the VA home loan. It has a lot of benefits for veterans and for agents and for lenders as well. So we can go to the next slide, Sarah. So yeah, so why I do what I do, right? So veterans don't know their benefits and they don't know who to reach out to. I'm on a lot of different Facebook groups that are, either Marine Corps pages or veteran pages, Arizona Veterans Forum. And there's a lot of, I see a lot of stuff on there where, somebody who's a dentist will post something about a VA loan and say, hey, you can do this with VA when it's not really true, right? So, veterans are misled, by friends and real estate professionals, whether intentionally or unintentionally, all the time, as well as lenders too. Lenders might have an issue with something like, let's just do FHA, let's make it easy and let's go this other route, where, veterans are actually talked out of using their VA home loan benefits. So, that's kind of my job is to really get as much education out in the community as possible so that everybody knows, how the VA home loan works. And again, I always want to say, think of me as a resource. If you have veteran buyers who they're using their sister as a lender or something like that. So they're kind of tied at the hip. They're not going to leave that lender. They're going to reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer any questions. You can go to the next slide. So we're going to cover some of kind of just the basics on the VA home loan today. Now, here's our 2020 statistics on, kind of who's the stronger buyer. So this was your FHA and your VA buyer last year during 2020, right? So you just look at the numbers, you think VA on they're a weak buyer, their credit's terrible, they don't make money. I mean, this right here kind of dispels that myth, right? So average credit score VA 736, FHA 672. The average veteran makes 22,000 more a year in income than your FHA buyer, and they can afford more house. So, don't think of the veteran as a weak buyer, right? They're not. The credit score is good. A lot of veterans have, very good, assets. I mean, kind of in this market nowadays, we see a lot of people selling their home. So now you got a veteran coming in to buy a new home who just sold their home for, 200 over asking. So they got plenty of money in the account. Just because they're not putting a down payment down doesn't make them a weak buyer. So you can go to the next one, Sarah. So some of the things that I see, and I see realtors posted, I see lenders posted, they say, hey, you only need this to qualify. Well, with VA, the VA does not have a credit score requirement. So the VA leaves that up to the individual lender to determine what they will accept, right? So, I work at Benchmark Mortgage. So for us, before COVID happened, we were at 580. We had to bump that up because, investors kind of tightened their belts during COVID. So now we're at 620, but I mean, there's other companies out there that'll go way lower. Your veteran's going to probably wind up paying more in fees, because of that low credit score. However, the VA does not set a requirement, right? So if you see someone else posting, hey guys, did you know you only need 580 for VA? That's not necessarily the case. I think, Chase, I think, is still around the 700. Wells Fargo, I think, is 660 or 680, but most lenders are kind of in that 580 to 620 window, but there's not one set requirement, by the VA for credit score requirement. So the different programs we have with the VA home loan, you can do purchase, has to be primary residence, so you can't do second home or investment property. You can do a cash out refinance or a VA IRRRL, which is an interest rate reduction refinance loan. So easiest loan there is if you have a veteran that has, a VA home loan, they want to, just drop the rate. We just need mortgage statement, HOA, insurance, boom, easy. Order payoff, done. We drop that rate, super simple. And if you have a veteran who, let's say, was talked out in the past of using their VA loan and they have FHA or conventional, but they want to switch it to VA, then we could do that all day long. It's considered a VA cash out refinance, even though they might not be getting money out. They're just refinancing to a VA. So let's say they bought, a year ago and they're still paying, mortgage insurance. They can refinance to a VA and get rid of that mortgage insurance. And so you can then convert that way as well. So 100% financing just means that there is no, as long as the veteran has full entitlement, there's no down payment required on a VA loan, right? So it's not no cost. So there's still going to be closing costs. You're still going to have to pay, your title fees. You're still going to have to pay your prepaids like homeowners insurance and property taxes, and then whatever the lender fees are for whatever lender you use. But, there's no down payment, right? So if you see a veteran that says, oh, it's a free loan, they don't charge you anything, it's easy. It's not quite the case. You still have to pay your closing costs. So that's still something that we verify as a lender to make sure that they do have the money to cover the closing costs. So if you ever hear that, just you can kind of step in and say, no, there's still closing costs that you're going to have to pay. So for eligibility, there's a couple different tiers of eligibility. So let's say you have a veteran who's never used their VA home loan before. They would have, full entitlement, right? So they can get any loan amount that they want, any purchase price, as long as they can credit qualify for the payment. The eligibility kind of comes in where, what was their character of service? Was it 4 years? Were they honorably discharged? Were they reserve? Were they National Guard? How much time they have in service? So that's something that we as a lender will, request from the veteran, whether it's a DD 214 or if it's a National Guard, it's an NGB 22 form. It's just kind of a statement of their National Guard service. Then we go through the VA's portal and we pull their certificate of eligibility to see what exactly they're eligible for. So, we've had it in the past. I mean, I had one kind of a horror story 6 months ago where the veteran was literally at the closing table. They were clear to close, but the lender had never pulled their certificate of eligibility. So, the veteran served in 93, they couldn't pull this certificate automatically. So we had to reach out to the National Archives in DC, and all of a sudden find out he only did 2 months, and left early from boot camp. And so he actually had no eligibility, for a VA home loan. So that's one of the things that, it needs to be done up front before you even, pre-qualify the veteran to get them out looking at homes. That COE needs to be pulled, because that is what's exactly going to tell us as a lender, hey, this veteran is eligible, and the cool thing is too, they'll put on there if there's any service-connected disability, if they're, exempt from the funding fee. So what the funding fee is if you have a veteran who has non-service connected, disability, they don't receive any compensation from the VA for, disability, then they have to pay a funding fee. So a funding fee is just a small percentage of the loan. And it's based on whether you've never used a VA before, if you have used it before, it's a different percentage, but it's rolled into the loan. It's not paid at closing. So your loan amount just goes up. It's wrapped right into that loan, not paid separately at closing. But the funding fee is actually, so we have regional loan centers around the country that, they do the guarantee and all the certification, the legwork behind the scenes for the VA. That's basically what pays their salary. But if you have a veteran who is, service connected, receives compensation from the VA monthly, then that funding fee is waived. They don't have to pay that. So that kind of saves them money on the loan amount. So you can go to the next one. And again, I'm going kind of quick because it's, it's only a 30-minute class, but, if anybody has any questions or, wants me to expound on something else, I'd be happy to do so. Or, you can always reach out afterwards. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you got. So for property types, single family residence, good to go. Planned unit development, townhomes, good to go there. I mean, we're even seeing a lot of the barn dominiums and stuff popping up. People are starting to do those more nowadays. Condos have to be VA approved. So if you have a veteran who's looking at, buying a condo, make sure to check before you go show them a unit in a condo complex, just to make sure it's VA approved. If it's not, and let's say it's their dream condo, it's everything they wanted, it's the perfect property and they want it, we can go about as a lender getting that property approved by the VA. So we literally just had one in Florida where same thing, gentleman was going from a conventional to a VA refinance. His condo complex was not approved by the VA, but we got what we needed provided to the VA, and the VA basically approved his unit, right? So they didn't approve the whole complex, just his unit, but that's something that can be done. So, if you have a veteran that's looking at, it's this condo complex or it's nothing, we can do it, right? So we can send what we need to the VA, get what we need from the condo complex, and try to get that approved so that way that veteran can, buy in that complex. So Blue Water, one of the big things that came out kind of last year, around January of last year, was the Navy Blue Water Veterans Act. So what this did was basically it removed all the loan limits for VA. So, used to be back in the day, you had to go off the Fannie Mae conforming loan limit. Anything over that, you had to make up 25% of the difference. Now, let's say that you've got a veteran that makes, $15,000 a month and they want to buy $1 million home and they have full entitlement. They can buy that $1 million home with no money down. So why this is awesome for realtors, let's say that, you're a listing agent on $1 million property in Carefree or Scottsdale or wherever, and you get a VA offer where that veteran is approved for $1 million purchase with no money down. With VA, it's a regular 30-day loan. It's nothing changes on that loan. Regular appraisal, regular underwriting, 30-day loan, it's super, super simple. It's just the VA looks at it as a normal regular loan, where if you have a conventional buyer trying to buy a $1 million property, then now we have, we have a matrix where they have to fit in certain boxes. Like they have to have this credit score, they have to have X amount in reserves, all these different requirements on conventional jumbo. Whereas VA, it's just kind of looked at as a VA high balance, and it's just a normal, we'll do, benchmark will go up to 3 million, before we have to pick up the phone and call corporate. But like if you got a veteran, that I've got one in Prescott right now, it's qualified for $1 million, no money down. So, again, in this day and age, if they want to buy that $1 million home and take the whatever they're going to make on their house or sell in California and put that in the market, obviously that would be the smarter choice. But that's one of the great things about VA is you can do $1 million home with no money down, and it's a regular 30-day loan, nothing crazy or out of the box. No mortgage insurance. So there's because the VA guarantees that loan, there's no mortgage insurance required. So you don't have to put 20% down. You don't, if you put 5%, you're not paying mortgage insurance. So any VA loan, there's no mortgage insurance required. There's also no extra fees with VA. So, for those that still kind of think that, the veteran's going to have to get seller concessions, or, my seller's going to have to pay for the termite inspection, all this kind of stuff, that's not necessarily true with VA. So, there's two different ways that you can charge a veteran on a VA loan. There's a 1% origination. Anything over that, the veteran can't pay. Or let's say you got a $300,000 loan amount, that veteran can pay up to $3,000 in fees. So like with us, our lender fees are $1,665. That veteran still has money left over that they can pay for the termite inspection. They can pay for certain things that are not necessarily required to be paid by the seller. So if you have, a company that's charging the full 1%, then at that point, the seller would be required to pay certain things like termite. But selling concessions are not required. There's no real extra fees with the VA home loan. There's only 1 or 2 extra documents that need to be DocuSigned. So there's not a lot of extra paperwork with the VA loan. It's still pretty, it's simple. And that's why I keep, trying to put out into the community is it's an easy loan. And the VA literally tells the lender, hey, lender, as long as you can explain it and make it make sense in underwriting, we're good with it. So we don't, VA doesn't really have too many like hard and fast overlays or guidelines that, we kind of have to abide by. The VA leaves that up to the lender, to make the best decision possible. And then as long as we can explain it, then the VA, yep, we're good to go. We'll guarantee it. So we have a lot more wiggle room, as far as VA goes, as compared to like conventional. So that's, it's one of the reasons like, why I love it. And obviously being a veteran, of course I love it, but it's, people don't understand it, and they kind of shy away from it, but it's really, it's an easy, super simple process. And as long as the lender knows what they're doing, it's pretty smooth. So you can go to the next one, Sarah. So appraisals. I heard a lot of people talk about it's one of the big things with VA is, appraisals are worse and they take longer, and VA appraisers are more strict. 20 years ago, sure. But nowadays, there's the appraiser's looking for 3 things. Is it safe, sound, and sanitary? And, as a real estate agent, it's stuff that you're going to see when you walk into the property, right? Is there rotting wood? Is there exposed wires? Is something missing, that should be there that's not there. So it's stuff that you would notice up front. It's not a home inspection. It's just an appraisal to determine the value. So obviously get your home inspection done to look for that kind of stuff. But the VA appraiser, he's not going in the attic. He's not, running plumbing tests and all kinds of stuff like that. So like I said, it's pretty simple on the appraisals. And the great thing about the VA is, let's say that the appraiser thinks, it's not going to meet value. They send us what's called a Tidewater notification. So that tells us, the lender, hey, I don't think it's going to meet value. So we then go to the buyer's agent, the listing agent, and say, hey, send us some comps that will support the value of this home. So we then have 48 hours to get that back to the appraiser. The appraiser might say, oh, you know what? I didn't even see this comp. This wasn't in my report. Yep, you guys are good to go. You meet value. We deal with it all the time. We've had Tidewaters come in, we provide the comps, and then we meet value. So it's kind of nice as opposed to conventional or FHA, where it's just, hey, here's your value. That's it. You're done, and you're kind of stuck with it. With VA, we have the Tidewater, so we can also, send that back up to try to get the value. If at that point we don't think that the appraiser is correct, then what we can do is do what's called a reconsideration of value, where we reach out directly to the regional loan center in Phoenix, and we, kind of go above the appraiser's head and say, hey, appraiser, or, hey, RLC, we think this appraiser messed up. They're missing square footage or whatever the case is. And, we had it happen on a home in Colorado where we got another $24,000 in value. So you've got basically 2 extra bites at the apple on VA that you don't necessarily have with conventional. And I'm sure, in this market, everybody this past year saw a lot of appraisals come in low because homes were priced outrageously. But yeah, it's kind of the nice thing about VA is, we have a chance to rebut the appraisal. And then same thing too, is if an appraisal calls out, something that we think is, it's not significant to the home, whether it's paint or something like that, or the carpet needs cleaning or whatever the case is, we can also ask for a waiver directly from the VA for that. So, if the appraiser says, oh, the carpet's dirty, needs to be replaced, we can say, okay, well, that's not really, pertinent to the transaction. Can we just get a waiver for that? And a lot of times, yeah, we can get an exception. So
Yeah.
Chris, we do have a question. Is now a good time to ask a question?
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. How do buyers and sellers deal with VA amendments related to appraisal and property selling over appraised value?
Yeah, so what we've done is, and here's the thing, is your buyer and your seller, they're still going to have to sign the VA amendatory escape clause. So basically what that is, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's a clause that says if the home does not appraise for the purchase price, then the veteran can walk away free and clear. They get their earnest money back. No harm, no foul. Well, with kind of the state of the market this past year, what we've been doing is literally just writing in the contract, purchase price is $425,000, but the veteran agrees to pay $10,000 over appraised value, even though it's kind of a handshake agreement. You're going to put it in the contract, and your buyer is going to sign it, saying, "Look, I'm going to pay over appraised value should it come in low, even though you still have to sign the VA mandatory escape clause." So it's very common now, especially after this last year with prices just going through the roof. And yeah, we just put it directly in the contract, and then you just tell your seller, "Hey, look, you just need to sign it, but look, they already said that they're going to pay over appraised value." So it's, in the past, it's been to protect the buyer, but it's so common now. We used to require a letter of explanation from the veteran saying, I agree and I understand that I am paying over appraised value. Well, it's so common now that we don't even require that letter anymore. We just put it in the contract and that's that. So.
Nice, excellent. Well, if anybody else has any questions for Chris, please let us know. Of course, if you need a VA specialist, we would be happy at Landmark Title to put you in touch with Chris and get all of your questions answered, and have him there and available to help you and your clients through the VA process.
Yeah, and again, like I said, it's all about education, right? So it's the last three bullet points is education. If you hear anything negative about a VA home loan or whatever the case is, feel free to send them my information. I'll answer any questions. And I hear so many different things all the time that it's almost, I don't get surprised anymore by some of the stuff. But there's so much out there that people just don't know, because the majority of lenders, they don't really deal with VA. They maybe do 1 or 2 a year, whereas, like 90% of my business is all VA. So, that's what I focus on. I'm part of a, kind of an education team here at Benchmark. And, we work with a lot of other branches and, educating realtors and other lenders, other teammates on how the VA works. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, send me an IM on Facebook or email, or give me a call. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. This was a lot of really, really great information today. We appreciate you coming on and sharing it with us. I think this is going to be one of the presentations that people are definitely going to want to re-watch again. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Like I said, we're happy to get you in touch with Chris. We're going to go over some of the other classes we have coming up, and we'll send y'all on your merry way this Wednesday. So this is our second week in Marketing Matters. Next week, in the month of August, obviously, next week we have Patricia Kane coming on to talk about Canva. We all love it. We can all learn a little bit more about how to market our real estate business through Canva. Canva is great for quick, simple, easy graphics. that you can plug into social media. Obviously, anything big you want, we're always happy to help you out at Landmark Title with that design. But for something quick and easy, you should be a little bit proficient on Canva. So that's next week, August 18th. And then we've got the Minute team coming on to talk about making money with investments. That's that last Wednesday, the 25th in August. And then Patty and Michael have Instagram 101 coming up with Dallas Andrews. Dallas is an awesome social media guy, but he's also a real estate agent. So he's going to give you the insight into how you can really leverage Instagram for your real estate business. There's controversy out there that says you can't leverage Instagram for your real estate business. But Dallas is going to come on, show you how to really send that message home on Instagram. That is an in-person class on Monday, August 16th from 10 a.m. to 11:30. If you want to register for that, because it is in person, reach out to us and we'll get you registered. And then the next day, there is a FERPTA class. This one is online. So if you would like to register for that, we always have a lot of interest in the FERPTA topic. So if you'd like to participate in this class, it's going to be via Zoom at 1 o'clock on the 17th. Let us know. Beth is hosting this and she will get you registered. Then we've got a solar CE class coming up. This is with the famous Tara. Tara's CE solar classes are amazing. So this one is going to be on Thursday, the 19th, and this is a CE class in person. So you'll want to attend at 9 a.m. to 12. RSVP for that though, because this one's going to fill up in person. Then we've got another CE class coming up on Wednesday, August 25th. This one's also at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. in person. This one's a little different though, because it's on social media, right? When was the last time you took a CE class that had to do specifically with marketing, let alone social media? So you're going to want to get in on this. This is going to be a great class. I hope they have extra space because I would love to be on a fly on a wall for this one. Attend in person CE. If you need the information, we're happy to get it out to you. And then the next day, this is the month of CEs, guys. Come on, kids are back to school. Let's get these credits in. We've got a VHA and VA loans CE, which is amazing tie-in for us today, right? This one is going to be a CE class as well. This one is online. There's only 30 spots available. So if you would like legal issue credit, please reach out to us. We'll get you registered. I mean, there's 3 classes right here and there in the month of August. So please let us know if you need any information, you want to attend any of these great classes. And moving on to September. In September, we've got Escrow 101 coming up. Oh, excuse me, this one's also in August. The next one's going to be in September. Escrow 101. This is actually going to be on the 26th of August as well. This is at 12 p.m. to 1:30 over in Goodyear. So if you want a little bit more information, like on how 10 steps for a successful closing, please attend this. This will be a great one as well. Like I said, we got a lot going on here. Now we go to September. Do you need a new headshot? Oh, are you using your 1980s headshot? Oh, Patty and Michael are going to be hosting a headshot at OnQ Financial on September 14th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you need a little refresher for your marketing, reach out to them and we will get you taken care of. That's it today, guys. Thank you, Chris, for coming on today. That was amazing information. I can't wait to share it with more people. Thank you to our business development management team. You guys are amazing. Please, if you guys need any help with your marketing, reach out to them. They are the best in the business. I'm not biased. They just really are. Thank you to Beth, Becky, Melinda, Mary, Eric in Las Vegas, Zach, Patty, Michael, and Jessica. Y'all are amazing to work with, and you do such a great job with your clients. And as always, thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to bring you Marketing Matters every Wednesday at 10 a.m. We also have a Landmark Title YouTube page. So if you ever want to go back and attend any of our previous Marketing Matters, please reach out to your business development managers. We will get you that link and get you hooked up with all of that amazing marketing information that we bring you every Wednesday. And please think of Landmark Title on your next contract. We would love to serve you all of your title and escrow needs across the valley. We have 6 offices, so no matter where you're doing a deal in the Phoenix Metro or Las Vegas area, Landmark's got you covered. That's it for us today. Chris, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, y'all have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.